Okay, good morning. It gives me great pleasure today to kick off the 6th annual Yankee Doodle Drive Against Hunger. This event is very important to Lieutenant Governor Reynolds and myself, as each day we're faced with the reality that 1 in 8 Iowans are food insecure and 1 in 5 Iowa children do not have enough to eat. Our goal is to collect 30,000 pounds of non-perishable food donations for the Iowa Food Bank, for the Food Bank of Iowa. With your help and the help of our community partners, Bank of the West, Hy-Vee, Casey's, and the Des Moines Symphony, we can make this happen. Beginning today, you can drop off non-perishable donations at any Metro Bank of the West or Hy-Vee location. On Thursday, July 3rd, you can drop off your donations at the Des Moines Symphony's 21st annual Yankee Doodle Pops here at the west steps of the Capitol. That's always a great event. We always look forward to a lot of people coming to that. And now I'm pleased to turn it over to my partner, Lieutenant Governor Kim Reynolds.
Well, good morning, and thank you, Governor Branstad. And the Yankee Doodle Drive Against Hunger is a wonderful campaign that really works to raise awareness and collects much-needed non-perishable food items for the Food Bank of Iowa. For every $1 donation, the Food Bank of Iowa can provide 4.5 meals to those in need. So we're encouraging all of you to join us as we make a marked difference in our community to help those in need. To show how much this means to the governor and I, and to show our support, we have organized a drop-off location today here in the governor's office at the Capitol. So we encourage each of you to drop off a non-perishable food item today or all the way through July 7th. So you've got a lot of opportunity to drop a non-perishable food item off here at the governor's office. I actually have mine right here that I will be starting the trend of dropping off at the donation spot. So again, I want to say thank you, encourage everybody to participate, and at this time I would like to turn it over, which way is she, to Sophia. So thank you.
Thank you, Lieutenant Governor Reynolds. On behalf of our music director and conductor, Joseph Junta, the gifted musicians of our symphony orchestra, our Symphony Academy faculty, volunteer board of trustees, and Symphony Foundation board of directors, and our staff, the Des Moines Symphony is thrilled to help organize and participate in the 6th annual Yankee Doodle Drive Against Hunger, a Symphony of Caring. The mission of the Des Moines Symphony Association is to enrich, educate, and entertain our community by performing great orchestral music. This mission is what guides our organization and what has enabled us to continuously serve the Central Iowa community for the last 76 years. This mission is also why each year we produce and perform the Des Moines Symphony's Yankee Doodle Pops concert here on the grounds of the Iowa State Capitol. While this is Iowa's largest single-day concert event and a favorite free patriotical evening for the estimated 100,000 people that attend each year, the concert and fireworks spectacular is richly enhanced by our participation in the Yankee Doodle Drive Against Hunger. We are pleased to designate a portion of our concert space to allow for a food drop-off location on Finkvine during this event. Anyone who donates at least 2 non-perishable food items at the Des Moines Symphony's 21st annual Yankee Doodle Pops on July 3rd will receive a discount coupon for a Des Moines Symphony 77th Anniversary Masterworks concert at our home at the Des Moines Civic Center. This is our way of letting the community know that we are indeed a symphony of caring. Thank you, and now Jody Beller with Bank of the West.
Good morning. My name is Jody Beller. I'm a Senior Vice President at Bank of the West. Bank of the West has been involved with Yankee Doodle Pops for over 10 years. We're a proud sponsor, and we've been a proud sponsor of the Drive Against Hunger for the entire 6 years. Once again, we're expanding our collection throughout the metro area and into all of our branches throughout Iowa to support this worthwhile campaign. This year, the drive's starts today, and it's important to remember that during the summer months there are many children who can no longer depend on being fed at school, making it doubly important to participate and spread the word that Bank of the West is collecting food donations. A particular need are high protein items such as canned meats, tunas, peanut butter, and 100% fruit juices. We are also once again this year presenting the Food Bank of Iowa with a $10,000 contribution. Now I'll turn it over to Mike Richardson from Casey's.
Thank you. I'm Mike Richardson, Vice President of Marketing at Casey's. On behalf of our more than 500 Casey's stores here in Iowa, I'd like you to know that we are extremely proud to be a part of this great effort. This year, as we mark the 6th anniversary of Yankee Doodle Drive Against Hunger, I encourage all of those who can to participate in some way for this much-needed undertaking. Whether you're dropping off items at any metro area Bank of the West or Hy-Vee location, each can or box of the much-needed items can really make a difference. Hopefully, it'll make enough difference to reach our 30,000-pound goal. In addition, additional information about the Yankee Doodle Pops will be available on specially marked pizza boxes this month during the month of June. So, but please don't forget about the July 3rd Yankee Doodle Pops, and also bring the much-needed items to be enjoyed as you're enjoying the orchestra. Again, on behalf of Casey's, let me say thank you for allowing us to be a part of this tremendous effort, and thank you for helping to make a difference. I'll turn it over to Brad Waller with Hy-Vee.
Good morning. My name is Brad Waller. I'm the Assistant Vice President of Community Relations with Hy-Vee. I want to thank Governor Branstad and Lieutenant Governor Reynolds for the invite here this morning. I take this opportunity to make a few brief comments about this tremendous initiative. And on behalf of the approximately 70,000 Hy-Vee employee owners, it's our great pleasure to serve as a co-sponsor for the 6th annual Yankee Doodle Drive Against Hunger. For the past 5 years, through the tremendous leadership of the Des Moines Symphony and the Food Bank of Iowa, the Drive Against Hunger has helped play a significant role in addressing the issue of hunger here in Iowa. And it is our great pleasure to lend support to the cause this year. Now, as an organization, Hy-Vee is committed to being a strong neighbor and a good community partner in the towns and the cities where not only we work, but also where we live. We believe there is no greater issue than food security. As you heard Governor Branstad mention, currently 1 in 8 Iowans is food insecure, and 1 in 5 children don't get enough to eat. 1 in 5 children. We feel that's just not acceptable. That is why we are very proud to commit to this program, along with these other great companies and organizations. All 18 of our metro area Des Moines stores will help with the collections. You can find the special Food Bank of Iowa bins located, as I said, in all 18 of the Des Moines area stores, because together we can all do more. I want to again thank you all for the invitation today. We greatly look forward to this tremendous campaign, and thanks to the great organizers here for all that you do on behalf of the people of Iowa.
Good morning. My name is Carrie Miller, and I'm the Executive Director of the Food Bank of Iowa. I'd like to begin by thanking the Governor and the Lieutenant Governor, and of course all of the generous sponsors of this year's Yankee Doodle Drive Against Hunger for their continued support of the Food Bank of Iowa. Our mission is alleviating hunger through food distribution, partnership, and education. We do this through our partnership with 375 agencies in 55 Iowa counties. We distribute food to the food pantries, soup kitchens, homeless shelters, youth and senior programs, as well as through our direct programs, backpack program, fresh produce, mobile pantry, and Hush. This fall, the backpack program will feed 4,500 hungry school children each week at 113 schools in 26 counties. Our mobile pantry program was launched last year, making 16 distributions, serving on average 100 households at each distribution. Mobile pantries target rural communities where there is limited access to food resources. Next year, we will double the number of mobile pantries. Our fresh produce program is a partnership with the Newton Correctional Facility where 12 acres has yielded over 200,000 pounds of fresh, healthy produce over the last 2 years. The fresh produce program has also grown to include corporate giving gardens at local businesses and gardening for food, a project at a family farm in Madrid. The family has planted roughly 5 acres of produce to be grown and harvested and distributed through the Food Bank of Iowa. This year, the Hush Deer program provided over 165,000 pounds of high-protein, low-fat ground venison across the state. Last year, we distributed over 9 million pounds of food. We are on pace to increase that amount by 20% this year, and our fresh produce distribution is up 31%. The need to feed hungry Iowans is greater than ever. Hunger affects children, families, and seniors right here in Iowa. You can help this year by participating in the Yankee Doodle Drive Against Hunger, and all of our sponsors have made it tremendously easy for everyone to help. You can donate by dropping off your donations at any Bank of the West branch, any Des Moines area Hy-Vee store, or by bringing your donation to the Yankee Doodle Pops concert at the Capitol on Thursday, July 3rd. For the members of the media here today, you too can make a difference. Promote the food drive through your respective media channels to let the public know about the event and the impact that it will have on their communities and on the lives of those struggling with hunger. I will leave you today with one story from an individual we serve through our mobile pantry program. We worked hard all of our lives and never dreamed we'd need help from anyone, let alone a food pantry. Now we are almost 70 years old, have health problems, and a lot of prescriptions. The food pantry means the difference between a native Iowan going hungry or not going hungry. Thank God for the help. Thank you. Together we can end hunger.
At this point, we'd open it to questions you might have on this subject, the Yankee Doodle Food Drive Against Hunger.
Governor, you said you're hoping to raise 30,000 pounds of food. What was the goal last year, and when that?
It was 25,000 last year. So our goal is to increase that. It was 25,000 last year. I think the response has been growing in recent years. And now, of course, when you add a couple of big sponsors like Hy-Vee and Casey's, that's a real shot in the arm, and we really appreciate that. So we think we can exceed what was done last year. We also have a little contest within state government and here in the governor's office, and we're going to try to, this started among state employees back in 1983, my very first year as governor during the farm crisis. And we find that state employees have also been very generous in supporting the food drive for the Food Bank of Iowa. Other questions?
Governor, you vetoed several $1 million in spending.
Before we get to that, is there any questions on this subject where we have everybody here for? And then I'll be glad to answer your question, okay? Any other questions?
This is only the metro area. This is people who shop Hy-Vee across the state.
That's right. It's just the Hy-Vee stores in the metro area that are participating in this. Well, and Casey's and Hy-Vee are sponsors, and then the Hy-Vee stores, along with Bank of the West, are accepting food items, as we are here at the governor's office, and there will be food accepted at the concert on the 3rd of July here at the west steps of the Capitol.
So at the governor's office, are you going to accept every day up until the 3rd?
That's right.
Yeah.
We did that last year as well. So yeah, we will be doing that, and we have a little contest among our staff too to see how much we can raise. And a lot of other state agencies also are doing similar things, and there's a lot of ingenuity and ideas the different agencies have come up with to try to make this a success over the years. Any other questions on this subject? If not, we'll go to you, Jason.
Governor, you vetoed $7 million in kind of one-time spending
Right.
last week. Legislative Republicans have said that that's the way they want state surplus to be spent. Are you setting up a confrontation later on next year or years to come over how that one-time money is spent?
No, I have a responsibility to make sure that our budget is sustainable for the long term, and revenue has fallen off over $100 million since the legislature adjourned. We made major commitments in 2013 to property tax relief, which is $4.4 billion over the next 10 years, and we made commitments to local governments that the state would fund that and replace the property tax with state revenue. We also made a major commitment to our children and to our teachers through the teacher leadership program that ramps up and costs additional money in each of the next several years. So I want to make sure those are protected. I also am very appreciative of what Republicans have done, have helped me change this spending and borrowing mentality of the previous administration. We have quit borrowing money, and we're in the process of doing things on a pay-as-you-go basis and spending less than we take in. And so I feel as the chief executive an obligation to make sure that what we're doing is sustainable for the long term.
I guess the question is, are Republicans in the legislature going to go along with you with funding those priorities with one-time surplus?
Well, I would point out that there were things in that one-time spending bill that I recommended that I felt I needed to veto as well as all the other things. So this is not a partisan thing. It's not but is more my responsibility as the chief executive looking at what's happened since the legislature adjourned. Revenue's dropped off pretty dramatically. First of all, you look back to last year. Remember, because of the federal fiasco and the late decisions made on the tax levels at the federal level, farm tax returns, instead of being due March 1, weren't paid to the 15th of April. Well, and we had pretty decent farm income that year before. But farm income has dropped off dramatically. We don't have $7 and $8 corn anymore. We're looking at corn in the 4 or something range. And the result is that final pay tax returns are down, refunds are up, and projected revenue for this fiscal year may not even exceed what it was last year, let alone achieve what the Revenue Estimating Conference had previously recommended. Now, seeing that, I feel a responsibility to make sure that the decisions that we make, that the spending level is sustainable for the long term, especially in light of those major commitments we've made to property tax relief and to local governments to reimburse them for the reduction in property tax, as well as to our children and teachers through education reform.
Governor, we've been hearing you for months, so if not years, talking about how much better the economy has been under you and how Obama doesn't deserve any credit, that you deserve all the credit. Now you're saying that things really are looking bad.
No, they're not.
People actually start looking at Jack Hatch as a better alternative to the economy.
Well, look at Jack Hatch's voting record, and you'll see that's another story. I won't get into it now.
So you've been saying for months now, for years, that how much better the economy was under you.
Well,
You're saying that it really isn't that good.
no, it's good, but it's not as good as we thought it. Not as good as its revenue is just not where it's been, and there's a lot of reasons for that. One of the things is the federal government has hurt us again with the renewable fuel standard. That certainty of a renewable fuel standard that was increasing, where we were able to see the demand for corn go up and see more jobs in renewable fuel increase, and now the EPA has created, and your paper has written about this, uncertainty, which has caused investors to be reluctant to invest in the next generation of cellulosic ethanol, as well as in the existing ethanol plants we have in the state of Iowa. So, yeah, we are concerned about that. We're concerned about the impact that the EPA's regulations that come out today might have on Iowa consumers and on manufacturing in our state. We're going to do everything we can to try to grow the state's economy and bring more business and jobs here, and I think we've got a track record of doing that. But we have to deal with the economic realities of today, and when we see revenue in the last month falling below projections, I think we've got to be prudent and careful.
But Governor, you know, people from the Iowa Policy Project, some other groups, a year ago when the tax reform and the education reform, they said you overpromised that there were going to be problems in the long run. Here you are in the first year, and you're already running out of money.
No, 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 no. Those liberal groups are way off base in those kind of accusations. The truth of the matter is, what we did was a very well thought out plan to both reduce the property tax burden and increase the economic opportunities, as well as improve our education. I believe that as you look at that, we gained great bipartisan support. We had significant accomplishments in 2013. I just want to make sure that we have the resources, we can sustain that for the long term. I feel confident we can, but I also think we have to be careful and prudent, and remember that we're in it for the long term. We've made significant progress. Iowa's on the right track. We're recognized one of the best managed states in the country, and if we're going to continue to be there, we've got to continue to be very frugal and careful with the way we spend our money.
You had actually put money in your
Right.
budget for education of
Right.
those who left the home, vetoed that. Then another veto went after the money to maintain the home valuable state property. Legislators from both parties felt that there should be money there to make sure that home doesn't fall apart.
Well, it's already in bad shape, and I think the task force that we appointed said that, you know, those residential aspect of that was not didn't meet the standards that we require for nonprofits in the state of Iowa. So I would point out that yes, I want to make sure that we do provide the remedial education, and I recommended that. I was disappointed the legislature put that in the one-time bill, because I thought my recommendation was to do that in the general fund. But I've been assured by the Department of Human Services that that's an obligation that we have, and we will find a way to make sure that remedial education is provided to the children that were denied that at the Toledo Juvenile Home.
And there's just a fun follow-up, and started answering my question by saying the home is already in bad shape. Are you suggesting that you should let it go to seed?
No, what we're saying is, and I think the Department of Administrative Services is already making sure that the property is protected. But the residential facilities there, now there's some newer buildings that could be used for educational purposes, but the residential facilities are not adequate or appropriate for housing children.
So you might just tear it down?
Well, I think all options should be looked at. We need to do what's in the best interest of the community, and I want to make sure that that asset is made available to community in a way that would help economic development and growth in the Tama County area.
The Farm Bureau and the State Ag Secretary $2 million, clean water. Where is that money?
We did increase the funding for nutrient management from $2.4 million to $4.4 million. And since I've been governor, in terms of increased funding for water projects, it's been increased by 26%. You know, there are a lot of those things that I'm very supportive of that I just didn't feel at this time we could afford to embark on that additional spending.
Governor, will you be meeting with Senator Rubio today?
I think the lieutenant governor will. I have a full schedule. And anyway, I got to tell you, he's a great guy. He's a rising star. He was at my birthday party a few years ago. So I'm pleased that he's in the state of Iowa, and the lieutenant governor is going to bring my greetings to him. But we are always appreciative when people like Governor Perry or Senator Rubio come to Iowa.
In reference wasn't supplemental money, you're gonna have enough to get through this year, and what's the situation
Yeah.
next year? Was it fully funded?
Well, it wasn't, and we need to deal with that situation. You need to know that because of our economic development success, federal government has changed the formula and reduced funding, federal funding, and the state had to pick up an additional $86 million. So that $86 million we had to pick up that previously was paid by the federal government. We want to also look at how we can more efficiently and effectively deliver those services in the most economical way possible. We're going to continue to work with the Department of Human Services to do that.
You've got a shortfall to deal with in this month?
Well, you know, Medicaid is a huge item, and it all depends upon how effective our wellness programs are in helping reduce the amount of people that are making claims under Medicaid. So these are all based on projections, but we're concerned that based on the present projection, there could be a shortfall in that program. Not nearly as bad as existed in some previous administrations or previous years, but we, being prudent and cautious, want to make people aware of that and continue to work to deliver those services, which we have an obligation to deliver in the most efficient and effective way possible.
When we call around today, the revenue next report comes out, to find out why the numbers are down. You're saying that the people who track this are going to tell us it's uncertainty over the renewable fuel standard?
Well, it's because farm income has dropped, and also because of the timing of the payment of farm taxes. Last year, remember, normally, and I come from a farm background, I used to do a lot of farm taxes. So the farm deadline is March 1. Well, you remember the fiasco in Washington and the fact that they hadn't reached the budget, and we didn't know what the tax level was going to be in the federal level in January of 2013. So what they did, they moved back the filing deadline for farmers from March 1 to April 15. The result was that farm tax returns last year were paid later, and farm income, if you think back to 2012, was much higher. So people paid more, and then the money came in later, like in March, it came in April and early May. This time, farm income is down. The tax returns were due March 1 and paid earlier. And so what we find in state revenue in this agricultural state is that revenue, final pay tax returns are down below what expectations were. Refunds are up. And the combination of all of that is that we have about 120 or over $100 million less in projected revenue today than we had the last time the revenue estimating conference met.
Governor, you mentioned that you're glad to see Rubio and Perry come here, but Governor Romney was here last week. Are you not glad to see
Oh, I'm glad I didn't mean to leave him out.
Some people have said that he may be a prospective candidate next time. Would you be open to considering?
Oh, I don't think so. I mean, he did that twice, and I think he's made it pretty clear he's not intending to run again. But he certainly is somebody that we appreciate coming and supporting the Republican efforts. So, you know, I like to welcome them all, and I'm very appreciative when Republicans take an interest in Iowa. Well, even Democrats, I'm appreciative when they take an interest in Iowa too. But I guess I like it even more when Republicans come to help us. So.
Governor, your campaign announced that you'll be doing a 14-city tour over a couple of days here. Now that once the primaries pass, what's going to be kind of the balance between campaign and the governor's office?
The Lieutenant Governor and I made a commitment that we would go to every county every year. We take the responsibility to represent and serve the people of Iowa as our top priority. I'm proud to say we have fulfilled that commitment. We're well on our way to achieving the 99 county goal again this year. That's going to be our top priority. Up to now, I have focused on our policy priorities. We had 7 of them before the General Assembly. We got 5 of them approved. We have just completed the bill signings. We've just completed the work on the budget. And now we have a primary election tomorrow. By the way, I do have an opponent, and I do ask for and would appreciate the vote of the people of Iowa in the Republican primary election tomorrow. I don't take anything for granted. So I'm very optimistic. I'm very hopeful that we will win that. And then I want to lead the whole team to victory. And we're going to start right on Wednesday. You know, this farm kid starts early in the morning and works long hours. So we're going to start early in the morning on Wednesday, and we're going to begin a tour of the state of Iowa with the Republican Senate candidate and with the other statewide candidates. We'll meet up with the congressional candidates, with legislative candidates. I'm very hopeful. I'm very optimistic. 2014 could be a great year for Republicans if we do a good job of getting our message across and communicating effectively with the people of Iowa our vision and plan for the future.
Governor, can I just ask one more question? Governor, with this big campaign war chest that you've got, are you going to spread some of that money around to the other candidates?
Well, I'm not going to give away my secrets. I just say that I am very appreciative of the broad base of support that we've received from all over the state of Iowa. And I'm very appreciative of the people that have donated their time and their resources to help us. I want to run the best and most effective campaign we can, and I want to do all I can to help other Republican candidates. We want to win the Senate race, congressional races. We want to win control of the Senate and increase our margin in the House, help candidates at the county level as well. So my goal as governor is to lead a strong, effective team to victory. We want to run an effective, energetic campaign, and in the months ahead, we will share my vision for the future. I think we've accomplished a lot, but we've got a lot more to do, and I just say stay tuned, because I think it's going to be an interesting and exciting time, and I'm very much looking forward to getting on the campaign trail. Thank you.